So has music ever significantly changed the course of history? Structuring and analysing your essay, how to start writing for answer. So this is a really interesting question, and I also think the format in which it's asked is interesting because it's asking, has it ever significantly changed the course of history? So has is a yes/no response. In our previous question for the previous videos for question one, most of the most history questions are asked in more of a why format or how format. But this is quite a clear yes or no. You could almost just write yes in your essay and then say you're done. Obviously, you're not going to go very far if you do that, but it's good to bear in mind that they want you to have quite a clear answer from the get-go. And as we start to write and think about ways of answering the question, it's also important to remember who is marking the question and who is going to be reading your work. So it's going to be different from doing a school exam where people expect certain answers to come out of what you've written with a competition like this, which is marked by people who work in academia. It's important to remember that these people spend all their time reading, writing history. Say all the time, they're also human beings as well. They do other things other than history work. But for many of them, they spent years and years and years, decades, just reading and writing history. So, in this context, how do you impress people who do this? And the picture I've included here is from Downing College in Cambridge, which not every single person here is a historian, but I think a few of them will be. So I'm going to start with introduction. And in a roundabout way, I'm going to start to answer how you can actually start to impress people who spend all the time reading and writing. And a good introduction is actually crucial here because an introduction addresses the central components of the question, that does this in a classy way, in a sophisticated way, and in an interesting way is really going to get the attention of the examiners. So it's important that you address the crucial concepts, the central concepts of the question. You should have the key components of the argument in mind and explain how you've adopted these working definitions. You should start with quotation if you can, or catchy introduction. And you should also highlight the key historiographic tensions within the question that need to be answered. So you also need to have your argument as well. And this is really important. And this is where you're going to impress whoever is reading your essay. Because the problem with a lot of history writing is that it ends up being very wishy-washy. People don't actually explain what they're saying. People actually end up giving an overview of many things, but not an actual explanation. So historians are obsessed with arguing, and they want to be convinced of what you're saying, especially if it's something that they've spent previous time researching or reading. It's important for them to see read your introduction and be like, this person has an interesting argument. I'm going to pay extra attention when I read the rest of their essay. And bearing in mind, it's only 2,000 words, so you don't have that much space in order to impress them as well. So every single word. And this is actually what your examiner doesn't want to feel like. So try your best to make it interesting. Does it need to be funny? Does it need to be, you can't do everything absolutely uniquely within an introduction, but you can definitely make it your own, you can make it original, and how you can do that is probably through your argument and the quotations, anecdotes, begin your